another car review. I am in a 2013 Scion TC today, owned by my buddy Matt, and this has been dubbed the Itasha car. Now if you're from the Greensboro High Point area, you've probably seen this car before, because honestly, kinda hard to miss. But enough rambling, let's go. Alright, now this car is based off of the anime Shakugan no Shana, or yes, that's it. I was told by the owner that's the way you pronounce it. So, we're good. But the whole term Itasha started around the late 80s, and it was supposed to reference an Italian car. But then in the 90s and 2000s, it developed into what we know today, as in basically a car that is based off of a character from anime, manga, video games, just anything with like kind of mostly Japanese culture. The actual term Itasha now translates directly into painful car. If there's one thing you gotta say about this car, everyone looks at you. I wish I was joking, but after seeing this car, with all the graphics, with the wing, with everything, it definitely attracts attention. Whether it's going to the gas station, picking up groceries, especially at car shows, it's definitely a fan favorite amongst a lot of people. Again, with this car, you just have to play the part. You gotta just own it. You just have to own it when you drive this car. You have to own that people are gonna look, and that not everyone's gonna approve. Me personally, I've always seen this car, but it wasn't until a few months ago is when I just went up to Matt, the owner, and said, why? But I think the main question I was asking is, why not? With the car scene the way it is today, with all these cars that look pretty much the same, all just one kind of bland color, it's refreshing to see a car that's just so outspoken in its identity, and it's uncompromising in its personality. That's the right word. But no, as much as people like to make fun of these types of cars, there definitely is a passion and also a very tight-knit group of individuals who've come to not only love but cherish these cars. And there are multiple conventions that these cars go to, and they do travel in herds. It goes, I'll say that. That was the most obnoxious 0 to 60 I think I've ever experienced. But no, this thing is, oh man, this thing is pure smiles, honestly. Like every time I'm driving, this is so fun. It's just, this is the car that you drive when you don't care. You do this for your own self. You do it because not only are you committed, but you want to do it. And you gotta at least respect that. The commitment and just the passion to actually do this. Because some people say, it's ruined, why would you do that to a car? But couldn't you also flip that around and say that about that Stance Honda Accord that's scraping on the ground everywhere it goes? It's one of those things where I feel like it's just a bigger thing with the car culture that we have right now as a whole, that just respect the build. I mean, just respect what people have done to them, because I mean, at the end of the day, they're the only one that has to love it. I mean, they're the ones that put all that love and time into it. But just a little bit of like respect, or just taking a step back every once in a while and wondering, well, why? Or that's cool, I want to know a little bit more about that. It just, if at least, like, you do that to at least one car at the car meet every time you go out, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot. it really does pick up and go. Now getting down to the actual logistics and actually what makes this car tick, the motor. This 2013 Scion TC comes with a 2.5 liter inline 4, which from factory made about 180 and around that same torque, but the owner has done some aftermarket modification, just some few things here and there, just bump up the horsepower a little bit, like a tune, some other stuff, some other goodies here and there, an exhaust, obviously. But just some things to really make this car look and sound the part. This Scion TC also comes with a Downforce Solutions side skirts, front splitter, and side spats, which is what I've been told the rear parts are called. And again, the Energy wing, which really just adds to the aesthetic of this whole car. Because, again, with this car, it's not supposed to blend in. It's the exact opposite of blending in, and that's the point. That was quick. I think I actually moved my camera. It is really punchy. It really, especially down low, again, this is personal bias, I'm just kind of used to something more like a Honda. When I'm in a 4-cylinder, I'm just used to something with a lot of more top end. But with this, it's definitely punchy down low. That low mid-range is really where this car, I feel, really just shines. It just pulls really well. I would say it definitely pulls stronger than your mom's Honda Accord. Now this car was purchased brand new back in 2013, and it wasn't until 2016 is when Raptor Yasha was born. So this car originally had a wrap. It was from the same anime, but it was different. It was more realistic looking instead of more, again, inspired by the manga. The first wrap, we're now on wrap number 2. It was after wrap number 2 is when he actually got the aero parts, the wing, everything else. And again, this car has been definitely a transformation, and he actually drove it for a solid year back in 2016 before he bought a Scion XB as his daily. This thing was his daily, and he drove it with the wrap and everything. That's commitment. Speaking of performance, this car actually handles decently well around the corners. I mean, it definitely is front-wheel drive, you can definitely feel that, and also it's a little bit, again, on the heavier side because of multiple reasons, the subs, everything else, but it really is a nice handling car. I mean, it's not gonna beat a Miata, but in terms of just like a nice tuner car, and cheap, reliable, and fun, which is all you need. And also, practical. Because I know, Chad, your Miata can beat this thing in a corner, but I can actually store stuff in the trunk. So, I mean, who's really winning, alright? Now, talking about the interior, it does have 2 working screens in the back and a sub, which were put in a few years ago. But also, if you haven't noticed, it's really nice seats. These are actually leather seat covers, which I'm usually against seat covers because I think that most of them are kind of tacky, kind of gross, and, well, what I kind of realize now is I've only had bad seat covers because these are really comfortable. I mean, another good positive about this car is that, and I've been told by the owner, you could fit 5 people in here. Now, I'm not going to say comfortably, but in just a trip around town, you can't do that in your Miata. I'm just saying. So with the Scion, if you haven't noticed already, it only has 2 pedals, and it's an automatic. So, despite what the gear shifter might tell you, it is automatic. But with a car like this that's just meant to be fun, I mean, people have different definitions of fun. Some people don't want a manual. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. Because again, at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to live with it. Just because it might give them some street cred, if you're going to be miserable the whole time. This car also has a color-matched engine bay. And by that I mean the headers, the piping, a lot of stuff has been done up pretty well. And also it has a Passport JDM carbon on like the valve cover and everything, which is a really good touch. That combined with the TRD cross brace, it just adds to this being just a fun show car, where no matter which show you go to, people will definitely pay attention. I mean, driving this car, especially around town in like a very populated area, especially in this part of North Carolina where it's more traditional, driving this car around, it's kind of like bringing a girl who works at Spencer's back to your conservative parents. They're not going to approve. But that's kind of part of the fun, right? That whole, I'm being a rebel against everything else. Thanks again to Matt for letting me review his car with his time and energy and gas and everything. And thanks again for joining me on this review. And thanks again for watching.